What is going on?
It's Wednesday night. I made it. I'm here.
A person under that? Get up.
You know what that means? It's Wednesday night.
She not
Another-
answering you, Dr. Sylvia.
Mic check.
What, girl?
Who is this? Who is this person?
What?
This woman?
What
this
do you
woman?
want?
Who
Look,
this? Who this?
I'm here. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means? Another episode of not 1, not 2, but 3 Friends Talk.
The remix. Hey, friends. Thanks for rocking with us. We're live every Wednesday night, 8 Central, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I said every week because for the month of March, we are coming to you live every week. So tune in, set your notifications, and Dr. Courtney will be back next week.
Hopefully.
Not next week.
We
got
pray.
the next.
We pray.
Is it next week?
Next week.
Yeah.
I
next
just
week.
see. Yeah. She'll be back next week, y'all.
I'm here.
Clearly you're not.
I'm here.
Yeah. So we hope everyone has already subscribed to Three Friends Talk on your favorite streaming platform. If not, go ahead and do that right now. Right now, and leave us a 5-star review. Hey, new friends. Hey, friends. Everybody tuning in. Let us know y'all are out there. What's going on, ladies?
I'm in recovery. The lights are too bright. I'm still recovering. It's a new month. It's a new month.
It is a new month. It is March, which also means that we are closer to April, and April brings, what is it?
April showers and May flowers.
So are we showering our friends with any, Dr. Sylvia's jigging?
What's the shimmy that you're doing?
I don't know.
It's to the front, then to the back. That's what it's called.
Too much movement. My head.
It's making you dizzy.
Ain't nobody studying you. Nobody is studying you.
Okay, Dr. Sylvia.
But they were.
Since you've given us a little shoulder and taking it right back, can you tease us with what is going on in April?
In April, we will be coming to you with our second official live event. It's called, can I tell them what it's called?
Please do.
Tell them what it's called. Tell the friends what it's called.
It's called the Chocolate Brunch After Dark.
After dark.
Bam!
After dark. Not bam.
Now, let me just put a little disclaimer.
My head.
That just means we're getting together after the sun goes down. We're not doing any salacious.
Oh,
Dr.
She had to give us a disclaimer.
Sylvia
That's what she's doing.
Is not doing any salacious activities.
Okay, fine.
But
me neither.
We will be having a wonderful live podcast.
Fact that you have to give this disclaimer.
Girl, you know we got caught up last time. Facebook banned us because they thought the chocolate brunch was something different. Okay.
Well, it was the way it was.
They thought we were bringing Mr. Chocolate.
Okay.
No, that was not the case.
I just realized what you said. Yeah. So it's not like that. Come out and join us. Dr. Courtney, where are we going to be?
We will be at Black Coffee Atlanta.
Woo woo! So
Atlanta,
join
Georgia.
us, Super Friends in Atlanta. We will be in Atlanta April 9th. And tickets go on sale this Friday.
Come see us live and in person. We'll have lots of goodies for you.
If you're not a part of our email list, go to knowyourpharmacist.org so you can be the first to know because it will sell out. And that's on the chocolate.
Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a little lamb.
That part.
Hey, friends.
What's that on your head, Leah? Ash, is that your ashes for today?
I got my ashes because today's Ash Wednesday.
Yes. So if today's Ash Wednesday, yesterday was Fat Tuesday.
That's how you remember?
Of course.
Okay. To each his own. That's how you remember. So yes, it was Fat Tuesday. Did y'all have any Fat Tuesday experiences?
Lots. Lots.
Clearly, she wants to talk about it, but she
Yes,
wants us
please
to.
let her have the
Right,
floor.
she wants us
Okay.
Stop
to bring
dragging
it
this
out of
out,
her.
sweetheart. The floor is yours.
Okay. So for those who
3
don't
minutes.
know,
Put on the timer.
Can I refill my tea while you tell this
oh my
story?
gosh, yes. For
Ooh,
those that don't know,
I'm not gonna do you like that.
yesterday was Fat Tuesday, which is also Mardi Gras Day. And your girl, Dr. Courtney, went back home for Mardi Gras. And it's not just one day that we celebrate Mardi Gras. It is about 2 months,
A
ever since King's
season.
Day in January. But the closer it gets to Mardi Gras Day, the more activities there are. So
Mm-hmm.
really, these past 2 weeks have been nonstop. And then really the Wednesday before Mardi Gras Day, you get into what's called Deep Gras.
I've never heard that.
Deep,
Yeah,
deep,
that's new for
deeper.
me.
So deep gras is when there's just no sleep at that point. I mean, just hydrate, my
Oh,
friends.
so you in deep.
Just hydrate. That's all I can tell you. And
You look
sleep.
moisturized.
Oh, you like? Yes.
What we can see.
Yeah, I still haven't slept. Even now, when I got back to Atlanta, it's just been nonstop because I had to go to the office today, and
I
and
want to hear more
strategize with
about
the pharmacists.
Mardi
But
Gras.
okay, fine. So Mardi Gras, my family, one side of the family on the West Bank, we're in Zulu, and then me, my mom, my sister-in-law, we are all in Cleopatra. So we have multiple organizations that we're a part of. And each crew, there are crew parties, you got your own royal court, coronations, you got to be there for all these events. So my son actually had winter break last week. So I was able to go down, bring him and stay for almost 2 weeks, really. I only took him out of school like 2 days and we had to make up the work. But then my husband came down later and for the end of it, and we just had a ball. It was really great. But I will say in 2 years, um, Dr. Courtney, she'll be reigning as queen of the crew of Nandi. So
This
please,
has been predicted, or this has been,
this is gonna
or
actually
this has been
happen. This is
established.
gonna actually happen. So I'm happy to announce that we'll be telling you more about my royal courts very soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I didn't know it was.
This is Mardi Gras
So,
Royal.
is there a vote? How do you? Because you just sprung this on us.
I was
So
chosen. I was chosen
by the okay.
by the by the
By the people.
by the.
She wants to talk about all this stuff all the time, and now she wants to be quiet. I was chosen by God.
I was chosen by the foundress. Okay, so
The foundress. Got
yes,
it. Congratulations, Dr. Courtney.
thank
We
you.
can't
And you
wait
all
to
will be
celebrate
of
you.
course, my attendants. So we'll all be in it.
You
Yeah.
want us to be your flower
I'll
girl?
I'll be there, but I won't be
Ma'am,
attended.
ma'am, it's not a flower girl.
I'm about to say, you better correct
Dr.
that language.
Sylvia, I'm gonna put you out already. Not a
Oh,
flower girl.
Correct the language.
It's gonna be like my wedding day all over again. Y'all will be
I'm
my
a,
attendants. Thank you.
Oh goodness, it's gonna be 18 of us again.
Right?
okay, Dr. Courtney, but like you haven't given us any of the experience. Tell us about the Zulu ball. I heard I got compliments. Folks was telling me how great you looked, and I agree. You look
Oh,
beautiful.
thank you.
Where were
So
you? A
yes,
snow princess?
Snow Queen. Yes.
I'm sorry, queen.
So I usually save my best gown
Congratulations,
for last.
Dr. Courtney.
There's lots of ball gowns. So for Zulu Ball, we had some great uh, celebrity guests. Stephanie
How
Mills
was the music?
performed.
Oh,
Wonderful.
what did she
She hit
sing?
all the notes. And her son was singing too. And he, oh,
Yeah, he
beautiful
likes to
voice.
dance and rap too.
Yes, Stephanie Mill was
He
great.
has a son.
And then Tamia performed.
Yeah,
And
I
I ain't
saw
gonna
Grant
lie.
Hill was there.
Wait. Yeah, they
What's the
were.
tea? What's the tea?
I ain't gonna lie. I don't remember her set. It was I must have been dancing and into the libations at that point. The champagne
But
was
so you're
flowing.
not saying it wasn't good. You just don't remember it.
I told you, remember, it wasn't memorable. Just saying. But I must have been dancing. Me and Dwight was just dancing and in it. So after that, Drew Hill performed. Drew Hill was great.
Tell
The
me
whole
what you
that part, Sylvia, that part.
tell
All the women
me
in
what you
there,
need.
either flats or
Woo!
heels, all the men, when they started doing that jump, the whole convention center was
Tell
doing
me.
Y'all were rocking it.
oh, wait, and then
Woo!
Cisco was there, and of
Did he
course,
have
well,
blonde
because
hair?
of the group, and he did have his blonde hair, and he did thong
Platinum.
song at the end. You know how corny the
Oh,
song is, but everybody was like, "You better
oh
sing
my
that song."
goodness. That's a real throwback.
He did thong song. Okay.
Okay, my question about Drew.
Wait. Let me tell you how Keith Sweat was there.
Drew Hill, but back to Drew Hill.
Okay.
You got a Drew Hill story?
No, I'm not gonna tell it, but I do. But the big one, I don't know his name, so I'm sorry, I'm describing him as the big one. Don't come for me. But when they performed like at some awards, he walked off the stage. But did he stay and do the jumping with them this time?
I do remember him staying on stage. Okay. I couldn't tell you out of
he walked out because he couldn't jump.
I don't know why he walked off, but there was Dr. Leah.
You said he walked off. You done described the man as the.
Never mind. Go
you asked did he stay on. Now,
go on to Keith Sweat.
Okay, so now the ball said, "Hey, we have got to end at 3:00 a.m. this year."
Well, here we go.
The Zulu ball goes on at 4 and 5 in the morning, and we were like, "Sure, yeah, 3, shmee, whatever." Keith Sweat must have came on about 2:50, almost 3. It was late, they had a couple of gaps. The lights came on. Nobody left. Everybody just kept dancing.
Did they cut his music?
Was on it. They cut that mic off. You hear me?
No.
Yeah.
Then they got on there at 3:09 because I had to look at my phone. 3:09 and said, "The ball is over. Please exit the building."
So he didn't get to perform?
He performed maybe 3 songs. But, Keith Sweat was like, he had so many hits. I was ready to hear it all.
Which one did you play? Nobody? Did he sing Nobody?
Okay, I don't remember at that point because by then Dwight had to help me to the car. I don't know what happened after that. I don't.
Okay.
We didn't see footage. We didn't see any stories and footage of that.
He had to carry me to the car.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
No, don't look like that, Sylvia.
Let me find out.
To carry me like.
Let me find out.
Like a queen.
Let me find out you was. Let me find out you was inebriated.
I wasn't.
She was.
It was because my feet was hurting.
Okay.
It was my feet.
Okay, so I hadn't heard any news. I guess the tandem float, since they stopped that, I didn't hear any news.
They had the tandem floats, but they were they had the netting in between, so you couldn't cross in between. They had a lot of different. Let me tell you, for a comeback 2 years later, Mardi Gras was everything this year. All the balls, all the crews took precautions when you entered the buildings. You had to show your proof of vaccination. You had to have your mask.
I wondered about that.
You had to have your negative COVID test if you did not have your vaccination card. Everyone in the city, the mayor made sure that everyone followed the ordinances. TD was on it. That's what we call the mayor child.
So she on her horse.
Oh, and yes, and we saw her too, and she got the picture with my son. It was great. Everything, the Lundi Gras Festival, that was outside in the park. That's Zulu Holes. And then leading up to Mardi Gras Day.
Went to, right?
Yeah, Lundi Gras, where we just sit out on the riverfront.
It's where the kings meet, right?
Yes, Zulu they started like 11 o'clock during the day, and all the Zulu characters come out. Mr. Big Shot, Mr. Big Stuff, the Witch Doctor, the Mayor, the Ambassador, the Duke.
Okay. But veterans, oh my gosh, did you see the pictures of veterans?
Is that in Metairie?
Yes, Dr.
Why are we talking about Jefferson Parish Parade?
Because I've never seen it that crazy. It was a lot of people. So I think it was just an overall wonderful success. It
really was.
I kind of wish I was there. I was low-key jealous.
Next year it'll be even better. But I will say, for a comeback year, with no problems.
Somebody playing music?
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's a nice little interlude. Go ahead.
It's my alarm. So sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's too funny.
Well, I didn't go to Mardi Gras, but I did have a busy day. I started with reading Across America. So I read some. I didn't have a children's book, y'all. So I got to get 1 or 2 because I had to read poems. And, I'm not a lover of. Anyway, I had to read Shel Silverstein to the kids. They liked it.
Okay. Well, I hope you were more enthusiastic than you being right now.
Well, it's been a long day. I had all the energy in the morning. And then this evening, I think I told y'all privately that one of my pharmacy mentors passed away. And I got to go to her wake. And I just wanted to recognize CJ Johnson. In 2003, I interned with her, and that was just a very turbulent year itself. And she really helped me be the pharmacist that I am today, and taught me a lot of tricks of the trade. And she is a legend, and she will be missed. So.
Oh, very nice. I'm glad that you were able to attend. So yeah, we lived through Dr. Courtney's stories and posts. I didn't do anything. What did I do? I bought some king cakes. So I
Oh,
tried to
can
I
go
tried
wrong.
to I tried to use a local bakery.
Oh.
So
How'd they do?
normally I will have my king cakes shipped to Memphis.
From
So it
where?
was
Who do you
from New
order from?
Orleans.
I mean, from Gambino's, Rouse's, what?
I think the last time I did Gambinos and they were good. And
Saludas.
my favorite um out of New Orleans, but they don't ship, is Antoine's. I like Antoine's.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd always have our king cakes. This year I said, let me try somebody local. So I got two, and they just
What
It
didn't
ain't.
quite curl
it
right?
didn't
It
it
didn't
just
quite
didn't quite
curl
curl right.
right.
And you know, we had our guest Jeremy Pierre. You know, he's from New Orleans and he was on our show last year. So he was talking about it on Facebook. You know, he was just like I can't eat these store bought king cakes out of Memphis, and you know everybody's like, what's a king cake? It sounds like a fruit cake, you know, like
What's a king cake? Oh boy.
they don't know,
Stop.
they don't know.
Stop.
So his mom sent him a king cake, and he posted
Aw.
the pictures, and it was, I mean, it was great. It looked good just through the pictures. I was like, oh my god, it looks so good. So yeah, I tried a local bakery. I mean, I'll try them again
Why?
for other things, but
Oh,
not king
okay.
cakes.
I was like,
No,
why would
I've
you
been
do
there
that?
before. I've had something, cupcakes, cookies, something. It was great, and then the king cake, they just
Didn't quite curl right.
just didn't. But I do that for Jalen. He loves king cake. He loves Mardi Gras. Hopefully, we'll get to attend. If
We're
not next
going.
year,
We're
but
going next year.
no, I'm saying he, you know, together. So I don't know
He's
if he'll be
coming.
able. We will see because he
Y'all
will
want to
be
know who I saw and
a
didn't want to give me a
senior.
picture?
Who?
Who?
The one from the Avengers that's from New Orleans.
Oh,
Mackie.
yeah, we
Oh yeah,
saw
we
him.
saw him.
Me and Sylvia saw him
I
last time we
know.
were
I
down
saw
there.
him again. He ain't want to give no pictures this time.
Well, he's short.
I mean, he trying to.
Because I remember me and Dr. Sylvia.
He was like,
both,
I'm just, you know, I'm no pictures today. I said,
he was trying to enjoy himself.
and you know, my girl Big Frida was there.
Mm-hmm.
We
Frida
got a
was
picture
trying to
with
have a
her.
good time too. She want to do no pictures this
She
time.
was like, "You better take it while we walking," and it was blurry.
Come on with your
Right.
New Orleans accent,
It was.
Sylvia.
I know.
That's remember because it was all
Say it
blurry. We
again.
couldn't even
Say it
post it.
again.
Right. No, don't do it no more.
Here's a big thing. I was in the VIP area this time at the King's table. So
okay.
my family was close to King Zulu this year. So we
She-
were actually and in the stands that's right in front of the stage. I was looking at, you know, the crowd from the top.
Oh, you were
Hello.
waving?
Hello. Was I? Got to get my practice in. Hello.
She over her 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so as I was saying, you know, hopefully Jalen can attend next year. He'll be a senior. And I want to shout him out real quick. Jalen was also on our podcast. What
Last
season was that?
Season two?
No, that was
one?
season 1, y'all.
Oh, wow.
We've been around a long time. So yes, Jalen actually was on another podcast, y'all. Someone invited him to a podcast.
Wow.
So they were talking about sports and sports management and all things sports. And you know, that's what he wants to do when he goes to college. So let's shout out Deuce and Dak is the name of the podcast.
Hey.
And they are all teenagers.
Aww.
And yeah, they're all teenagers, all 15, 16 years old. One of them was like 12 years old. Because I listened to a little snippet last night, and I was like, "Y'all sound so good." So, and they talk.
I have to check them out, Deuce and Dak.
Y'all, they talked for about 2 hours. I could hear them. I could hear them
I'm
upstairs, and they were having so much fun though. So I guess it's just natural for them. And I was like, "Y'all still recording? Like,
wow,
what's going on?" But yeah, shout out to Deuce and Dak, and shout out to Jalen. So you know, hopefully this can. We don't know where this might go. This can spur a lot of things.
So is the episode out yet, or it's not?
It is low. No, it's out. I need to find it.
Okay.
I just looked on Google and I didn't see it. So check Apple Podcasts and see if you can see it. It's Deuce and Dak, DAQQ.
I'm gonna check, but this is my backup phone because
What happened to your phone, Sylvia?
Yeah,
we have a guest.
She all out of commission.
Wait a minute. Why you got another phone?
She all out of commission.
Well, I've always had two phones because I'm a business.
What happened to the other
man?
What happened to the other phone? Let me see.
I left it in the Uber. I fly for work, and
how'd you?
I left it in the Uber, and then he didn't bring it back.
Drove off
before my flight left, so it's at the UPS center right now.
Oh, they actually sending it to you?
I have find my iPhone, so if he didn't send it, I would come get it. But yeah,
she's so shady.
Ladies, do we have a COVID update?
Can we get to our guest?
Okay, I'm just trying to go through that girl talk. We have a COVID update. Are y'all? All the mask mandates are going away. That's my COVID update.
Right on. I think
I thought you were going to talk about another.
I think we have plenty of time to talk about other stuff later.
She cut you right off.
But I want to get to our guest.
She tried to tell you 3 minutes. You took up all the girl talk time, Dr. Courtney.
I was trying to cut it short, but she said I hadn't said nothing yet.
You didn't. You said my daddy was there. My husband came down and he carried me away.
Yes, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
That's her experience.
We didn't care about that. We wanted to know about Mardi Gras.
You wanted to know about my Mardi Gras.
Terrible. Okay, let's get to the guest because Dr. Sylvia's getting antsy.
We ready.
So our guest tonight is a board-certified OBGYN and a maternal fetal medicine physician. Double board certified. Let me correct myself. And she has helped thousands of women achieve pregnancy safely and navigate through pregnancy and beyond. She experienced a high-risk pregnancy herself, and she thought that she was going to personally share her experiences to help others. She's expanded her efforts, and now she has a podcast all about that experience and the experiences she has helping others. She has a YouTube channel. She has a blog. She gives advice to women across the globe. So what we're going to do right now is welcome our guest to the show, Dr. Nicole Plenty.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, friend. Welcome. Hey, super friend.
Hey, I'm glad to be a super friend. I'm a fan of you guys, so thanks for having me.
We're so excited.
All right, Dr. Plenty, Dr. Nicole, we're so happy you're joining us tonight. And I have a little game I'd like to play with you so we can have our listeners get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
Yay.
Hold on. Just before we start, did you catch that play on words? I said we have plenty of time to talk about that.
I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it.
I know. That's why I'm reiterating it now.
She made sure y'all caught it, though.
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
Caught.
It's been caught.
That's Plenty.
Yes, she did.
Okay. Carry on.
Okay. So this is going to be a game called This or That.
Everybody know Dr. Plenty.
30 seconds. Hey, 30 seconds on the clock. Dr. Leah is
are we playing this or that? What is this? Is this or that?
This or that. Okay.
This or that.
All right. So I'm going to try to beat the buzzer, and we're going to try to get in as many questions as possible. So Dr. Leah, let me know when you're ready.
You ready?
And go. iPhone or Droid?
iPhone.
Facebook or IG?
IG.
Calls or text?
Text.
Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Late nights or early morning?
Both.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's talk about love languages. Actions or gifts?
Actions.
Time or words?
Time.
Rich friend or loyal friend?
Loyal.
Love or money?
Love.
And my favorite, coffee, wine, or Hennessy?
Wine.
Right on time. So I wanted to put in the love languages. I had plenty of time. Plenty. Oh, plenty.
Right there.
Great job.
I wanted to fit in the love languages because this is an extension of Love-uary, which we just actually celebrated in February. That's our play on words, the Love-uary. So now that we're entering the month of March, we wanted to really, we're not done with that yet.
No,
so
because it's Women's History Month. We're going to
absolutely. So this is our segue into that. So we had a post about the 5 love languages. So we got a lot of feedback from that. So it's something I wanted to highlight and see what your love languages were.
Yay.
Well, yes, I think everybody needs to read. Especially if you're in a relationship or you married, go ahead and read that book. It's very good.
It is. It's
helpful.
It is good.
Hey.
I don't think, have we ever discussed our love language on the show?
We can.
We probably tried, and it probably went off.
It went left. Probably.
Okay. Dr. Courtney, I think yours is gifts.
No, honey, actions.
What is it?
Actions. You got to show me.
Is it actions or like acts?
Actions.
Is that the official?
Actions.
Okay.
Actions.
See, this right here. I just tried to tell you that it was
words.
No, acts of service. It's acts of service.
All you want to. You can say all you want to, but you got to do.
Right.
You got to show me.
Acts of service.
Yeah, and touch. Actions and touch.
Okay, Dr. Leah, your turn.
I think it's more. Mine is more touch.
Touch.
Like paintbrushes.
That's warm and
do you have
warm and wet paintbrushes.
Actions and touch.
I don't know if Dr. Nicole caught that episode.
We had
nothing. Just be quiet.
We had on the show last time, and he puts the oil on. It's warmed oil. He puts it on with a paintbrush. And Dr. Leah got this service, and she said she thought it was a tongue. So
the first experience of the paintbrush felt very similar.
The fact that you didn't get up from the table to check, you stayed there.
I know, exactly.
If it's a tongue, it's gonna be okay.
Well, y'all can have some entanglements with that. You know, you and your couple, your spouse, your mate can get together and do the touching, and then you can come and see me when you get pregnant, and I can help you navigate safely through that thing.
Can we talk about the not getting pregnant? That's what I need. I don't.
Yeah, my child is 8. We didn't have a Nemo.
Well,
Dr.
Sylvia can talk about the pregnancy.
Yeah. Mine is also acts of service.
I'm my auntie.
I'm not pregnant right now. Thank you very much. Acts of service as well, and then quality time, because I like official words or official love language.
Don't talk. I'm tired of talking.
Anyway, I think that I have the first question.
Y'all started this.
Okay, Dr. Nicole, let me just say I am a fan of Pregnancy Pearls, and I just found out about your other podcast that I was sleeping on, apparently. So charges to my head, not my heart. It's called Oh, That's Deep, Black Women Conversation. So I have to check that one out as well. But I'm so excited to have you here. I told the girls I listened to a few episodes and I'm such a fan and I love what you're doing and it's so needed. But what got you started on this OB-GYN journey and women's health journey?
Well, before I went to Xavier, I thought, I'm going to go and be an attorney. I did mock trial and Toastmasters and all of those things that dealt with public speaking. And then I did National Youth Leadership Formal Medicine, which is something you do in high school. You go, you spend 2 weeks in medical school, sort of pretend medical school. And I loved it. And there were 7 counselors. 3 out of the 7 of those were African-American, and all 3 of those African-American counselors were from Xavier. And so I started looking, XU. So I started looking, they were like, you're from Louisiana and you don't know about Xavier. And I was like, well, no. So I love that experience. That 2-week experience changed the trajectory of my life. So I applied to Xavier, went to Howard Hughes summer program. Loved it.
She was smart.
And then, I had a cousin that passed away from complications of preeclampsia my freshman year.
Oh, wow.
So then I started doing research with just randomly. I just started asking a whole bunch of questions, started doing research with someone from Tulane, and then applied for early acceptance to medical school sophomore year and got in. And then the rest
early acceptance sophomore year to medical school? You better come on with it.
You're so funny. And, the rest is history. So, I had a cousin that's 23, thin, no medical problems, who, had a headache, went to the hospital, said that she wasn't feeling well, was sent home. 2 days later, she still had this headache, seized at home, and then was brought back to the hospital. At that point, they thought, okay, they still didn't know what was going on, but transferred her to a hospital in Baton Rouge. And then from there, she had another seizure, developed aspiration pneumonia, got transferred to a hospital in New Orleans. And then ultimately, she passed away from complications of eclampsia, which is when you have a seizure in pregnancy because of issues with high blood pressure and vascular damage. So, that when that happens, that's sort of traumatizing, no one really knew what happened or why it happened. And so because of that, that really made me interested in OB. I didn't know anything about MFM in college. I just knew OBGYN is what they deliver babies. And then once I went to medical school, I did my high risk rotation and realized, all the people that are high risk, they are seen by high risk specialists, which are MFMs. So that made me want to do more, focus more on the MFM side. And then when I got pregnant myself and almost died, I said, there has to be something to be said. Like, I'm a doctor, I'm a high risk doctor, and I'm still afraid of dying in pregnancy. And I have way more resources, not even financial resources, but people that I can call at a drop of a dime if I have a question. One of my really good friends, Kim Harris, delivered me. I delivered her. She delivered me. She went to Xavier as well. She's a Xavierite. So I knew her from Xavier. She graduated a couple years before me. And so I could text her at all times. And other people don't have that resource to be able to just reach out and contact their OB. Right. They may have questions. They may feel confused. And I realized, let me put something out there as a resource to patients so that women know, hey, if I have a question, I can ask this specialist this question who may not know me from Adam, but is willing to talk to me through this. And also give them some resources to say, like, this is what should happen at your preconception visit. And these are the things you need to do before you get pregnant. And this is what should happen at each prenatal visit. So that started the website and the blog. And then that turned into a podcast to just put information out there more regularly.
Awesome. Can I ask a quick question? You just mentioned high risk, and I hear that a lot more now that we are over 40. My friends that have had babies after over 40, and some of them before. So high risk, I associate age. What else can you associate as high risk?
So there's a lot that can go into the high risk category. And I think that people, when they think about being high risk, it's almost like they think that something is like definitely wrong with them, right? Like, oh my God, I can't be high risk. Or my OBGYN sent me to the high risk specialist. I don't want to be labeled as high risk, when it could be anything as simple as, you are now 34 and you will be 35 before you have this baby. You are considered high risk based on your age. If you are overweight or obese, your BMI is over 30, you are automatically high risk. If you have a history of high blood pressure, diabetes, if you have had, lupus, thyroid disease, any medical problem that's in pregnancy can deem you high risk. Even people that go into the pregnancy low risk can become high risk. So if your baby is smaller, you're now high risk. If we diagnose your baby with an anomaly, you're now high risk. If you get gestational diabetes in the pregnancy, which is diabetes that's just in the pregnancy because of hormones that are secreted from the placenta, you're now high risk. So there's a number of reasons that people are high risk or can become high risk, but it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. You almost would rather be labeled high risk to make sure that a lot of people are looking at you to keep you safe, as opposed to saying, well, no, I don't want to be labeled high risk. Like, I'm 36, but I don't want to go see the high risk specialist. And then nobody's watching you, right? So you're going to your OB for your routine care, because that's what your OB's job is, to do routine stuff. So then when you refuse the high risk consultation, they're like, well, I don't really know what they would be usually doing over there. So then there's nobody watching you. So, so yeah, a lot of things, Dr. Leah, can make you high risk. And I just want to, that stigma of high risk.
Right. It's such a stigma.
It is a stigma, but it doesn't mean that anything's going to happen.
Wrong,
you almost would rather somebody looking at you, because when you look at people that, Black and brown women dying, in pregnancy, you look back at them and most of them haven't seen a high risk specialist. Most of them are high risk and didn't know that they were high risk.
Really?
I was considered high risk.
Yeah.
And I was under 35.
A lot of things can make you high risk. Your placenta covering the opening of the uterus or the cervix, guess what? You're high risk now.
If you're pregnant with twins, are you
high risk? Twins, multiples are high risk.
Wow.
Anything that puts you at higher risk for developing a complication or needing to deliver early means that you're high risk.
So
interesting.
High risk
pregnancies, those are automatically high risk.
Okay. High risk in geriatric pregnancy. Do they use that terminology anymore?
Oh, I hate that word, geriatric.
I do too.
I
but
a lot of OB-GYNs do not like that. Yeah.
Some men thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All these fields of medicine used to be male dominated, right?
So, I know the first time I heard it, I was like, how old are these people? And they were like, no, like 35 and up. Like, that's not geriatric. That's like evil.
If you look at some textbooks still have that. They'll list like all of the synonyms for I don't even like advanced maternal age. I mean, I think that sounds like sort of, it doesn't sound as bad as elderly gravida. Yeah. Elderly gravida makes it sound like the 70-year-old that's getting pregnant walking with a cane.
Right. I'm disgusted at that.
The lady that's on the National Enquirer.
But it's the same thing as saying, you are over age 35. That's all that means. If you have one baby. Now, the more babies you have, the younger you are to be advanced maternal age. So if you're twins and you're 33, guess what? You have advanced maternal age. If you have triplets and you're 30, guess what? You have advanced maternal age. So the more babies you have, the earlier you
advance.
Oh,
wow. I know.
Correct. So much knowledge.
Yeah. Twins over age 32, guess what? You're AMA.
All right. Well, tell me, let's go back to basics. How do you choose the right OB-GYN? What are some criteria that women, either young women or if you want a second opinion, what are some things that you should look for a good OB-GYN?
Well, the first thing I usually tell people, if they haven't started their gynecologic journey, because some people, may not even have a pap smear yet, right? You're not supposed to start getting pap smears until you're 21. And some people had never seen an OBGYN or any type of provider that does women's health. So I would first tell people, ask your friends, like, who do you guys go to? Who do you feel comfortable with? And then number two, if you know that you're pregnant and you want to deliver at a certain hospital, start there first. And I say that because some people know they want to deliver, for example, at Methodist, but they really like this OBGYN that's over in the Woodlands. And I know that some of your listeners may not know anything about Houston, but like there's a lot of different Methodist hospitals. And if you're like trying to deliver at Methodist in Katy because you live by there, but then you want to go to an OBGYN that's in the Woodlands, which is almost an hour away, well, that's not going to work. Like that OB doesn't have privileges there. So I would say if you know the hospital that you want to deliver at based on the proximity to your house, that's a really good way to start. And then you can look on their website and look at the list of providers they have and just go through their videos. Sometimes you can tell who you'll click with and who you won't click with just by looking at their bio and watching their videos. And then do a background check on these people, like look and see what the reviews are online. Ask your friends about what their experiences were, and then ask to schedule a consult with them. You can schedule a consult with them, see like who else is in your group, how many other doctors are in your group, what's the likelihood that you will deliver me, like all of those things you need to know about. And if that's somebody, if you do the consult and you're like, this person was rushing out of the room, they didn't answer any of my questions, I felt like they weren't very responsive, then go get another opinion. You don't have to stay with the same provider for the whole pregnancy. If you go to somebody early in pregnancy, you don't like them, then go to somebody else. And then there's always, there are different groups that people may be in. You may have people that from church. A lot of times I think finding people word of mouth that other people have liked may be good, because you're going to talk to people that are like you, and if they have a good experience with their provider, then you will likely have a good experience with the same provider. If they've had a bad experience, then you probably have a bad experience too, because birds of a feather sort of flock together. So that's what I would tell people. What I tell people to start.
All right, thank you.
Makes a lot of sense. You started talking about, when we started talking about the podcast, the Pregnancy Pearls podcast, and why you started that podcast. Can you tell us a little bit like of what a listener will hear? I guess the type of guests that you have on your show, if you have guests, Dr. Sylvia, she's obviously a fan. So just let us know. Like, we want our listeners to tune in. There's look at Nia out there asking questions.
Yeah,
we'll get to your question in just a minute, Nia.
So Pregnancy Pearls is just that. I'm giving tips for pregnancy, and some of it is not just pregnancy. I talk about a lot of preconception things. I talk about pregnancy complications, and then I also talk about things that people may encounter in the postpartum period, and then stuff just with motherhood. Usually, the show opens up with general information about the topic, right? So tomorrow, where the topic is. Pregnancy after weight loss surgery, right? So I'll give general information about weight loss surgery, like these are the 4 different most common types. These are the risk factors for getting pregnant with each of those types. And then these are the complications that can happen. And these are the tips I would give if you have these things. Then I have a medical intern that basically reads 2 defined cases. And the cases are usually stuff that people email me or cases that I've actually had consults about during that week. And then I will answer those questions on the podcast. And then there's usually 1 or 2 email questions that are either direct messaging or emails that come through pregnancypearls.com. And I'll answer those questions online. If I have a guest, that guest is usually specific to that topic. So, for example, I am a high risk specialist, but I am not a reproductive endocrinologist and infertility specialist. We work together to help people get through pregnancy, but we do totally different things. So I had Dr. Tiffany Jones on one show about a month and a half ago that talked about egg freezing, different type of fertility treatment, like intrauterine insemination versus in vitro fertilization, sort of giving her take on that. Who should freeze their eggs, who should not, and then like the legal aspects of like what happens if you freeze your eggs or you freeze your embryos and then you get a divorce, or what happens if your husband cheats on you. What legal rights do you have dealing with that? And then the guest will also help dialogue and answer the cases and the questions as well. So some of the topics are pregnancy related, some of them are about pregnancy planning, some of them are just about being a mom and having kids. Like I had one on finance and how to make your kids, when is the right age to get your kids financially responsible and financially ready, for a successful future. So we talked about, 529Bs and college saving plans and how much to save and when to start saving and authorized users, which selfishly was good for me. was helpful for me, but a lot of some of my listeners had asked about that, so I was like, well, let me find a guest to
I'm all in there right now.
Expertise. So yep.
I love it. I thoroughly enjoy it.
So Nia is asking, is there any science study behind encapsulating your placenta for postpartum benefits? That's her $1 million question.
It's funny because I did a live on that on last night, and someone was asking about encapsulation. Send me a message about encapsulation. And I will say this. So it's not a lot of data on encapsulating your placenta. There has been some studies to find that moms that do placental encapsulation have a lower risk of postpartum depression, also have a lower risk of like postpartum hair shedding and things like that, just because it gradually drops those pregnancy hormones after delivery. But there's not a lot of data that says, hey, do it, right? I can tell you there's no harm in doing it. So for me and my patients, if I deliver somebody and they want encapsulation, we go through like, hey, this is the benefit of it theoretically, but I let them know that there's no scientific, like the American College of OBGYNs does not say, hey, we recommend placental encapsulation. So I let them know that, but if they want to do that, then I will get that prepared for, it's usually the doulas that do the cleaning and preparation of those encapsulated placental pills. So I'll get that information ready for them for processing, but it's not something that has scientifically been known to cause benefit. I will also say, if you have a history of something bad with your placenta, like your baby is small or you have preeclampsia, the goal of that placental encapsulation is keep those hormones there so they can gradually drop down, right? So you won't all of a sudden theoretically your body won't take like a shock, so you won't have as much hair shedding and things like that. But it does, those hormones stay around. So you're talking about breast milk production. Some people, because your body has these hormones that say I'm still pregnant, okay, some people can have a lower breast milk production afterwards, so that's something to think about. And then if you have preeclampsia and you're encapsulating your placenta, there's no data on this, but I do not recommend keeping those hormones in your body. Like, we want to get rid of those hormones, because what I've seen, the people that are trying to be very natural and do placental encapsulation, and then they ingest those placental cells, all of a sudden they're like, my blood pressure is still high. And I'm not blaming it on the encapsulation, but it has to be something to that, to say you have a placenta that has all these bad hormones that's causing constriction at the level of the placenta, increasing your risk of preeclampsia, because preeclampsia, which is high blood pressure and vascular damage, is at the level of the placenta. It's not the baby, it's the placenta. Okay. And then you're encapsulating the placenta and you're keeping those hormones around. So I do not recommend it for people that have, gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, or a small baby, because we really don't know what those hormones do. I hope that answers your question.
Now, I don't know anything about that. Who actually does that process? Do you do it?
I do not do it. So usually, there are OBGYNs that can take a course and do that.
You said the doulas, right?
But a lot of the doulas do that. Like, doulas go and get trained to do that. They wash and cleanse the placenta, and then basically it's like a drying process, and then they encapsulate the placenta. So it's not like you're eating or ingesting like,
they didn't have that around when I was
bloody tissue, cells or anything like that.
But it was, it probably was around, but nobody really talked about it.
Nope. I did just fine.
Those are not the pills y'all.
I was just fine. It's just fine.
I'm okay. Everybody's different.
I was just 250 pounds. I was like, I had an 8-pound baby. Like, what are we gonna do with the rest of this fat though?
You're so funny.
I was only I was worried about what are we gonna do with the rest of it though?
Oh my gosh.
So I'm just learning so much. And the girls hinted towards it earlier, but yeah, I froze my eggs and I plan to try to start having a baby.
We're gonna be your auntie.
Yay!
Your auntie.
In 2023.
Now you doing your shimmy.
I was talking to a family member, and she was telling me about some of her experiences and how she switched doctors for whatever reason. And she's like, well, this doctor was a better surgeon than this doctor. And I have a history of fibroids. I had one that was like melon size and one that was grapefruit size removed. And so, they recommend a C-section. And so I was like, what kind of questions or screening could you do I don't know what a good surgeon is, or which doctor has which, you know what I'm trying to say. Are there any questions or outside of asking your friends to kind of determine who would give you a good C-section, whatever that looks like?
Well, I would ask them their plan, right? And I say this because C-section, like any OBGYN should be able to do a C-section. Like, let's be clear. Like, that is like bread and butter. You were doing a C-section. I'm pretty sure I probably did a C-section in residency before I did my first vaginal delivery. Like, it's something that every OBGYN should be trained to do a C-section like the back of their hand. And I'm just speaking from my own experience based on people that have consulted me, general OBGYNs that are in the community. They're all very, very good at doing C-sections. The question I would have more so is, hey, what's your experience? Like, how many patients do you have that actually have IVF pregnancies? Because a lot of people may not have as much experience with that. Because, and not saying that an IVF pregnancy is that much more high risk, but there's still things that need to be done for an IVF pregnancy that are not done for a pregnancy that's not IVF. Like, you're going to need a detailed ultrasound. You're going to need a fetal echo. You're going to need serial growth scans every 4 weeks to make sure the growth is okay, because people that have IVF babies tend to have smaller babies. You have a higher risk of preeclampsia. They need to know to put you on aspirin very early in your pregnancy, 8 to 12 weeks. So those type of things, if people are like don't really have a lot of IVF patients, they may not know that. And then if you're getting IVF, your reproductive endocrinologist, they're going to have their go-to people. Like,
right. That's true.
These are the people that deal with our patients. These are the people that we know that listen to our patients. Because let's be real, someone that has had an IVF pregnancy, we are going to take a little bit more time with those patients because we know that they have a lot more questions. They've probably gone through a lot of, it's stressful. Like your pregnancy is a lot more stressful because you're going to have to go through embryo transfer and things like that. There's certain hormones you have to be on at the beginning of pregnancy that you wouldn't be on if you did not have an IVF pregnancy. So usually, because when I get a call from an REI doctor, I'm like, okay, when do you want me to see her? Like, there's just no questions asked. Like, when do you want me to see her? I'm going to see her immediately. Most of my patients, IVF or not, have my personal cell phone. So I'm like, hey, if your doctor gives you a cell phone number, that's a pretty good indicator. You can probably call them at any point. Just saying. But ask your reproductive endocrinologist, like, who are you using your go-to people and how much experience with IVF do they have? Because a C-section is not really something that, I don't want to say it's not a big deal. I had a C-section. So I understand that, of course, postpartum, you're going to have a little bit more recovery than you would with a vaginal delivery. But it is, in terms of OB surgeries, it's not like, oh my God, I need to go in with like a Harvard trained, triple board certified,
right.
person. You're going to be okay.
Got it. Thank you.
You're
gonna be okay.
I'm ready.
You're gonna be
I'm
okay.
ready.
You're gonna be okay.
Listen, I'm gonna be texting you like, are you on aspirin yet? Are
Right.
you on yet?
Do it, please.
Please.
Send us
I'm already
reminders.
forgetful.
Don't you worry.
whatever
a
we
geriatric
need.
mind already. So
Oh
please do.
Lord, we are not claiming that word. We are not claiming that
We're
word.
going to retire that word. That word is no longer
Please.
allowed.
Thank you.
No.
Goodness. I don't like it.
Got it.
So, are we going to talk about this fibroid journey?
I talked about it. They were there. Now they're not.
They are not there, and you're going to go through IVF next year.
Mm-hmm. That's
Okay.
a plan.
I won't ask you because some people don't want to talk about that, so I don't want to ask you to me.
You can ask me anything.
Okay, so fibroids tend to grow back.
Mm-hmm.
So, when are we going to go start this IVF journey?
Well, I'm going to take a trip in the next couple of months. And then after that, I'm going to go get checked up again. Because one of them did, a new one came or grew back or whatever. It's small, but my REI did recommend I have it removed before, I do any IUI or IVF stuff. So that's the first order of business.
Okay.
Yay.
Well, that is
a plan.
Fantastic. I had a lot of fibroids in my pregnancy, like 6 of them.
Really?
I called them my little gremlins. My baby was kicking the little gremlins the whole pregnancy, which is why he was breached, which is why I had to have a C-section. But they can grow back. I mean, if they're small, I'm surprised that your REI wants you to get it taken out.
She just said because of where it was, she didn't like it. So we'll see.
All right. Well, let's talk about some other questions that you may get in the office. So, our age group, we're 40 plus. Do you have a lot of 40 plus ladies that come in and they still have a lot of sex questions? Do you see an increase in libido, or what happens with your 40 plus women?
They getting pregnant. I mean, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people.
I'm
there's a lot of people in their 40s, so there definitely must be an increase in libido. A lot of women
shaking your head, Dr. Leah. I don't know what you said.
She don't want another baby. She don't want another baby.
Let me tell you, I have a lot of patients that are in their 40s. I think my oldest patient right now is 51. People are getting pregnant. Okay, people are getting pregnant. There must be, and people are like switching spouses and getting pregnant. Like they're 40 and their husbands now are 30. I mean, they're doing a switcheroo.
Well, I was about to say, could you clarify that, please?
Yeah, they're switching it up. They're like, oh, I got a new man now, and This is my new man. He's
So the 40-year-old women got a lot of younger men.
Yeah, we've seen a
The
lot
young
of
ones like
men.
us. The young ones like us.
You know what? No, let me shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
all I'm
kinda,
gonna say.
listen. It's like how Stella got her groove back.
I
And
mean,
I don't like that reference, Dr. Plenty. I don't like that reference.
Wait a minute. Look, age where they come in and they either still, they got.
Anyway,
Dr. Sylvia, I'm with you. We're gonna be Stellas together.
No, I'm not a Stella.
Okay, you Sylvia.
You need to be a Stella.
But you know what? We all want to be Angela Bassett.
Virile man.
Because Angela Bassett looks amazing.
Virile
I can't hear Dr. Plenty. What did you say, Dr. Plenty?
I said, well, we all want to be Angela Bassett because she looks like she's 30.
No, she's awesome, but I'm not.
She
Stella.
looks amazing. I'm not really sure what she's doing, except for like obviously with a personal chef and a personal trainer, but she looks amazing.
She does.
She is amazing.
I mean, Sylvia, this is the age where you could either
ask your question.
Be the sugar daddy or the young man. I mean, both of them.
Now, some of them do have older husbands
right
as well.
in the middle. Pick you can have either. You're in the right on the cusp.
We good. We're good in Dallas. Thank you. Finish asking your question, Dr. Courtney.
That was it. I just wanted to know, women our age, are they still coming in talking about, hey, I'm really sexually active? Do you see an increase in the libido in your patients in this age? Because I know, I feel like I have an increase.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's very natural for you to have an increase in your early 40s. That is very natural. And it's very natural for the male sex drive around age 40 to also go down. That's why women are coming in.
Yeah, they mature. They're not mature. They just come out the gate faster. We take our time.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I couldn't get it out.
We had a time when we took our time.
You know what?
I got married early.
I'm about to say maybe not you.
Married early.
Hot in the butt, but. And Trina, I was gonna tell Trina that she was saying that Sylvia should come to Indy to see Dr. Plenty. Dr. Plenty's in Houston now.
I'm in Houston now. I used to be in Indy, but I'm in Houston now.
I'll take that trek to Houston.
What were you about to say, Dr. Sylvia? I'm sorry.
I don't know. No, I wonder, because there's a lot of low T clinics now and guys are on testosterone. Does that help with the libido problem as they age? I wonder. That's all I was thinking about in my head.
If you have a low testosterone, it does.
Well, there you go.
But if you don't have a low testosterone, no.
Got it.
Don't do that. Causing negative feedback mechanisms. You're gonna make
some labs check the testosterone level.
Yeah, get it checked.
But they love to overdose. They love to take too much, and I'm like, why are you out, sir? Oh,
overdose.
Like, well, they take too much. It'll be like half. Anyway, they love to take too much. It happens, and they feel so good. They're like, yo. Anyway, sorry, I'm off task.
That's how they come to the counter these days.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you out? This should have lasted you a month.
Don't call that man out like that, Sylvia.
You know, you're talking about somebody specific. What is that?
One patient.
It's more than one. More than one. So you have to counsel them really good about injections. They just take it all. It's like a 2 ml vial, and they'll pull the whole vial, and it's just supposed to be 1 ml a week. So they feel like
they shooting up.
Kong. And I'm like, well, this is too soon, sir.
Sylvia, I hope you don't look at him like that.
You know she do.
You know how I am. Anyway.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
Ladies, right. Did y'all have any other questions before I talk?
I'm ready for you, Dr. Leah.
Dr. Nicole. Y'all got no more questions. Dr. Nicole, you pour so much into your patients and into the lives of many, those that don't even see you physically, but that listen to your podcast about pregnancy. So all this pouring into others, what are you doing for yourself? What is your self-care?
So I am very blessed to have childcare around the clock. I was telling y'all earlier, my mom is like, we've recruited her. So she is our full-time nanny. So she's very helpful. So I try to take some time for myself, make sure I get periodic massages, make sure I get mani-pedis. Sometimes I mean, if I have a horrible patient, like during the pandemic, I had to get some counseling. Sometimes we have to get that kind of stuff out.
That is self-care.
Yeah, because your mental health is really important. So, and my husband is very much so like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Especially if you have somebody that's in the ICU for, weeks and weeks at a time that, just aren't getting better. So I try to check myself and make sure from a mental standpoint, I'm okay. And if I need to take a breather, then I take a breather. I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't do pretty much any radio. I listen to a lot of podcasts. That sort of helps. That's like my thing. Yeah. So Houston is huge. So I'm in the car a lot. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to y'all's podcast. I listen to a lot of audio books. Okay. And then pre-pandemic, we used to travel a lot. So my husband and I like to travel. We used to take a couple vacations a year, just to be off the grid, right? Like no social media, no nothing, just time to relax. And then I also will take some trips without my husband, because sometimes you got to get a break from them too.
Oh yeah.
So just making sure that I schedule something at least once a week that's just for me and to take care of myself.
That sounds awesome. Beautiful. Yes. And so, is there anything next coming up? We got 2 podcasts. We working full time.
A blog,
a
YouTube channel,
a family.
Well, so coming up with me, obviously I'm going to keep doing the podcast and things like that. I may be making some professional moves. I won't drop that, yet, but there'll be some professional ventures that are coming down the line. May need a little change of scenery sometime in the near future, but we'll see. I'll announce that when the time is right.
Perfect.
Trina was upset. She said no when she found out you're not in Indy anymore. Maybe she's moving back, Trina. Maybe I don't know.
I love Indianapolis. Like I really enjoyed my time there. Really? Initially I didn't like the snow because I was like, ooh, it's
Sylvia made me choke.
I just know she seems so genuine about loving it. I've just never heard anybody say that about
I did
Trina,
love my time
get her, Trina.
I didn't like the snow though. I did not like the snow, and I was definitely ready to move closer to home because I'm from Louisiana, so I wanted to be, closer to home. Now that I'm in Houston, y'all, I'm still getting used to this traffic.
It's crazy.
I couldn't imagine.
This traffic. I like being with my, around my family. My mom is one of 11, and she has 8 brothers. 6 of them are here. So, I mean, I have cousins.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yeah, I have people here. My people are here. But
come on, Dorilla.
But we'll see. We'll see. With the pandemic, this has let me know that I don't have to be in the city with my family because I haven't really seen them.
Yeah.
Since I've been here, over the last 2 years. But we'll see. I'm not sure if I'm moving cities or anything like that. But
well, we're excited for whatever is next, and we're so happy that you stopped by to hang with us. You dropped so many pearls, and I can't wait to check out.
Indy loves you.
Hey, Julie.
No shade to Indy, Julie. I've just never heard that, but now I have.
Get
Every
her,
day
Julie.
It's a new day. It's a new day. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. This has been wonderful. And before you go, I just want to see if you feel like we're making positive strides against Black maternal death and disparities that happen. If that have been happening for the last several years, or been, I would say, reported on more in the last several years. Do you feel like the pendulum I can't say that word. What's the word? Pendulum is swinging in the correct direction?
I'm gonna be honest, Dr. Sylvia. I feel like we have such a long way to go. There's so much more work we have to do. The CDC data, it just doesn't lie. I mean, Black and brown women are still dying at alarming rates. Have the mortality rates improved a little bit, but not enough. Especially when people like us who are doctors are still dying at the same rates that people that are Caucasian with high school educations are dying. Like that's, it's disheartening. And it's like, what's really going on? I think the more strides we make against like race and racism, because there's something to be said about, you know, bias in the medical community. That's a real thing. And I think that there are now medical organizations that are acknowledging, like, hey, we got a problem here, we need to do something about it. But people are still resistant to, you know, bias training and things like that. So I just, you know, always tell patients, like, you know your body, advocate for yourself. If you have questions, you know, it's our job as providers to make sure that they're answered. And if you don't feel right, go to the hospital, because there could be something going on. um, I think we just have a long way to go. So I won't lie. I don't think that we've made as much progress as we need to make.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, those are the things that we need to hear to make sure that we're taking the steps that we can take to keep ourselves safe and to keep our friends and family safe. So thank you again for being here and all that you've dropped, all the pearls that you've dropped. And we can't wait to support you and continue to champion you on and whatever's next. And how can our friends get in touch with you?
Well, they can find me on Instagram at pregnancy_pearls, or Facebook at pregnancy pearls. People can email me at pregnancypearls@gmail.com if you have something you want to talk about, or you just want general advice. And you can also visit my website, which is just drnicoleplenty.com or pregnancypearls.com, which gets you basically to the same website.
I love it. She's so official, y'all.
I've enjoyed this show. Learned a lot.
Me too. Well, bye, friends. And like I said, go to knowyourpharmacist.org so you can get on our list, because tickets for the chocolate brunch will be dropping this Friday.
Look for us on April 9th. Come see us
in ATL.
Bye, friends.
Till next time.
Bye. Thanks for having me.